Blazers, and C.J. McCollum chases down Jamal Murray, blocks the shot off the backboard.
Oh, this one will be remembered for a long time. He had a shout out from his boy, the 303, LeBron from Akron. CJ's are not too far away, getting the iconic block against the backboard, Nick. This was when you said LeBron passed, what's your name, wasn't it?
Well, that game, that moment, when LeBron passed Jordan. That is true. CJ, man, 37 points, road game 7. Woo!
Raptors and Sixers, Kawhi getting by Tobias Harris somehow makes the crazy up and under layup.
Oh, he got fortunate on this one. Perfect defense by Philadelphia. Joel Embiid comes over to try to block it. He puts a little English on it off the backboard. It was that kind of night.
Yeah, he was guessing right there. Just throw it up, see what happens, bounce around. He was so sensational.
Let me give you more here. Moving on, Kawhi, watch this, the incredible fadeaway over Joel Embiid to send Toronto to the conference, hold it, finals. There it was.
Watching this for the 14th time, I still can't believe it went in.
Neither can they.
For it to hit the rim there and bounce up and just a touch forward. Because if it bounces straight up like that and a touch backwards, we're going to overtime.
Kawhi had a little hesitation right before to get Joel Embiid a little off guard, where he couldn't get the best bounce. He defended as well as he could.
God, that's a tough shot.
Amazing shot.
That's a tough shot under regular circumstances. The buzzer of a game 7.
Right in front of your bench.
Blinko.
If they don't have that one printed up and have it in the Raptors office this morning when the players walk in.
All right, moving on. The Golden State Warriors finished off the Rockets Friday night. No KD in Game 6, so no problem in Game 6. Steph Curry had 23 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter after an unprecedented scoreless first half. Klay Thompson chipped in 27 of his own as the Warriors eliminated the Rockets from the playoffs for the 4th time in 5 years. Nick, what message did the Warriors send by winning without KD?
All right, well, listen, the Rockets are never going to beat them. And we'll talk more about the Rockets another time, but the Rockets are going to have to wait for the Warriors to be done being the Warriors. They never punted, and they could never beat them. So set them aside for a moment. What they showed by showing up the way they did is they are the bleeping champs, and you are going to have to rip it from their cold, dead hands. No Boogie Cousins, who cares? No Kevin Durant, no problem. We still got Steph. Yeah, scoreless in the first half. Don't worry. Your splash brother Klay will have you covered. Draymond bringing it with ferocious intensity from the word go. And then the less heralded of the original championship core. How about Sean Livingston has his second double-digit scoring game of 2019.
After he did nothing, basically, this series.
Absolutely. Well, this season, Jenna.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, second time he's scored in double digits this calendar year. Iggy, what I say, if Iggy hits threes, you lose. You're the opposition. Iggy hits 5 of them. Andre Iguodala, who looked like he was on the back end of his career this season, 3 times all year, he scored 15-plus points. He's already done it 5 times these playoffs. This is a championship team with a championship coach that got stomach punched thinking Kevin Durant wasn't going to be out for the next couple weeks. When he walked off the court, they thought, I believe, in the moment, KD might be out. That might have been his last moment as a Warrior. And they rallied in Game 5, and then they stole Game 6. Get away with a Steph Curry scoreless first half. Scoreless first half from Steph Curry on the road in one of the biggest games this franchise in Houston has played in a quarter century. And you win. You take control. You're down 7 in the fourth quarter. No panic. You win. This was a spectacular game by the original Golden State Warriors.
I'm going to let you talk about the players, because I think that one thing that will be missed in all this, and he won't get credit, is the coach. Because once Kevin Durant gets hurt, after game number 5, and they played an amazing 14 minutes, because if you don't, let's go back to that 14 minutes in game number 5. If they don't get it together and win that game, this is not a closeout game. You still have to go to game 7. So what Steve Kerr did after he found out that KD, he didn't tear his Achilles, there was a sense of relief for that. He didn't think KD would be available anytime soon, but he told everyone in the locker room, come to the gym, ready to play tomorrow. And he went through, they activated Jacob Evans, put him in KD's spot. He's the only player in the first 24 minutes of that game who did not play. They had 11 players play over 3 minutes. Now, to me, people will be like, oh, well, what does that really mean? That made the players fresher in the second half. No one knows that Steph would go over. No. But those core group of guys, that being Iggy, that being Draymond, that being Clay, they were a lot fresher in the second half because of what Steve Kerr did, and I believe it happened right after game number 5 when he comes into that locker room being like, listen, man, we don't have anything to worry. We're going to go in numbers. Everyone come ready to play. That's how we're going to win game number 6 because I knew the veteran players, that being Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they got a lot to prove. And them being able to win a game without Kevin Durant, it sends a huge message to that original group that they had together, and they knew this was a rare opportunity, and they took advantage of it.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Up until the fourth quarter of Game 5, this was a hit-or-miss Warriors team. Some nights they had big nights, some nights they didn't. They did what they needed to do to win, and then that fourth quarter came, and there was no Kevin Durant, basically. They got together like you talked about. How important was it for them to show each other that they could do this, that they weren't just reliant on 40 from KD every night?
Well, I think the team, the people in that locker room, never doubted they could do it. All of those guys have sacrificed for the greater good, if you will, to win by bringing Kevin Durant, and not only sacrificing numbers and shots, sacrificing the style. There is a style that they play without Kevin Durant that is very difficult to play with him because you can play it to a degree with him, but he's such a singular talent that it is smart. Dump it down to KD and let him go to work. Oh, he's got 6-foot-tall Patrick Beverly on him. Dump it down to KD and let him go to work. And that's not what the Warriors have ever done. To me, this was a message to the 29 other teams in the league that have been waiting for 3 years for Kevin Durant to leave. The Warriors reminding them, Kevin Durant, even if he does leave, probably is leaving. Guess who should be the favorites going into next year? Us, even without him, because has always been the case with Golden State. I don't care how mad people get when I say it. I will continue to say it. KD has been the greatest luxury item in sports history. They have not ever desperately needed him the way any team in league history would need a player of his talent, because they can always revert back to the style that won him a championship and then won him 73 games and got him to game 7 of a championship the previous year.
And it's also a style that won many, myself and many other basketball fans, over to who they were, because they were a fun bunch. They were different with Clay, with Steph, Draymond, the way he played, their passing, their movement. This was the way we fell in love with the Warriors. The Warriors start getting all this hate, not because they won championships, because Kevin Durant having the Warriors down 3-1, the Warriors storm back, and then Kevin Durant decides to be able to join them. That's when people started hating the Warriors. But the basketball, from a pure basketball standpoint, this is what we saw a number of years ago, what we fell in love with, and it was great to get a glimpse of it. And if Kevin Durant decides to leave, man, the NBA is in good hands.
All right. Well, now the Warriors move on. They'll face the Blazers Game 1 Tuesday night, and we will talk about what went wrong for the Rockets yet again. But coming up, how about the Lakers?